right, so on clearance, I got a second one for about $8, and they have a plastic part on the inside. I don't know if y'all can see. There's the main pot, and then in there, I don't want to mess up with that too much. And then there's a plastic part in there that holds water. So I really like that one for pot-wise for my snakes. Going on to this one here. This is an annual plant for outside. So my mom and I both like these. Let me see. It's really heavy. This is a Diamond Frost Euphorbia. So this is an annual plant that's usually a filler for baskets outside in the spring and summertime. I'm overwintering it just to see how it does. Maybe I can keep it every year. I've had new growth and I've had flowers on it already. So yeah, I suggest trying to keep annuals inside over winter. See how they do. It's always less that you have to buy next year. Yeah, when I first got this, they were just the little plants and they grew really big. And then I kept this downstairs under grow lights. And then I brought it back upstairs. It's got new growth on it, so I'm pretty excited about this. It's a gorgeous plant. All right, so let's see what's next. Oh, there's my dog, Georgia. Georgia. Hi. All right, so this is the heart leaf shaped philodendron. Shh. New growth. Love it. It sits on a TV console next to a south facing window. Gets plenty of light. So this guy is trailing really good. I just keep wrapping it around things. So it's got lots of new growth. This I let dry out in between waterings really good. And then this is also in a pot that I can do bottom watering. I don't water most of my plants from the top just because it will move the soil around the roots too much, and I don't really like that. So I do a lot of bottom watering or steam. Steam does really good too if I just set them in the shower and I turn the shower head on and I face it away from the plants and then let it get steamy in there. And that's also another good way that I get my plants their water that they need. So yeah, look at that. New growth. Love it. One of my other favorite all-time plants. Let's see what else I have. Let's go here. Arrowheads. Oh, I love these guys so much. So this one I think is a berry illusion. Yeah, I have two of them. I have a little one here that's going real good. Then I have a larger one. And it's just going nuts. Like, I love it so much. Like, look at that. So many new leaves. So these guys all sit in a tray in my living room, and they have a south-facing window. Fern here, don't really know the name of this one. I think it's called Nephrolepsis. I'm not sure. If you guys have it and you know what it's actually called, please tell me. This guy, I do steamy shower and bottom watering for about an hour. New growth. Can't wait to see how this looks when spring and summer gets here and then get it outside in a good shady spot. Another arrowhead. This is a darker one. This one's name is Maria. Oh, sorry. Maria Arrowhead. So I love the color on that. Look at that. And this is two plants, if you can tell. And they're just growing together and doing really well. And lots of new leaves have popped up. Super excited. I like arrowheads. They vine and they go really crazy. And mine have these variegations on them, and I'm not sure. At first I thought it was unhealthy, but then more leaves started popping up and doing that. So hopefully they just continue to do that, because they were popping out and opening that way, and I just loved it. And just really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to my bathroom. Don't mind the mess. We live in our house. All right, so in here, I got a few other plants in here. They're drying out right now because these are succulents. This is, I think, is called a sea urchin. And this has teeny tiny little white leaves along with the green and the white. And I love this so much. It is doing really well, trailing out and making lots of new growth. Look at that. Really pretty. Then I have a sedum. There's a bunch of new growth on this one. The older pieces that did not trail, they're dying off, but lots of new growth anyway. Then I do have a Norfolk pine on one side of my sink and another one on the other. I did have one that I got as a new baby gift 9 years ago when we had our second son, and it ended up dying after 6 years. It had gotten quite tall and it finally just kaput on me. So we got 2 of them. See how well these guys do. Hopefully to get them really nice and tall and just gorgeous. So the care for these, I just put them in the steamy shower and I bottom water. And I do have moss in here at the top and it just stays damp enough to where the soil's not soaked, but the soil is just slightly damp. And then the moss kind of stays kind of like what it would naturally in its environment if it was growing outside. The moss and things around it would be slightly damp, and that's what I do. And this thing is just growing crazy. Then right now I am currently I bottom watered this guy, so now he's draining. I got this last year at Lowe's for $1. For $1, you guys, not even kidding, because they couldn't read the tag on the side, so they gave it to me for $1. There are some brown spots on this. I don't really mess with them too much after having bought them, but this guy I didn't want to do much with because it is a big gigantic peace lily and I didn't want it to start dying on me. I wanted to make sure it was really well established. So it had new leaves, no new flowers yet. I believe that they'll only bloom once or twice a year, maybe, depending on how healthy that you can get it to be. Don't mind the dinosaurs in the tub. I have kids. We like dinosaurs. So there's another new leaf popping out right here. I'm super excited. Once spring and summer hits, I will unpot this. I'll check the roots. I will clip off any leaves that are not doing so well. And when I do, I only clip them to right on the end of the stem right here. And then I let the stem die naturally. If you cut down at the base too much, I have found that this plant will start to struggle more. New leaves can pop out of the stems. I've had that happen. So that's why I've just kind of left it, because it's kind of like a node right here. And I don't know if you can see it. It's the bump part right here. So I always cut just above and then keep it super happy. Fertilize this in the spring and summer and fall every other week. And it did great because it was on clearance. So, and the tag, I'm sure that it shouldn't have been in clearance because it wasn't struggling too bad. It had just a few brown tips on the leaves. And then a few of the leaves that had these big gigantic holes. So I did not touch this one too much. And this one sits in my room in the corner of an east and a south facing window. Don't mind the mess. I haven't gotten to my daily chores yet. So this is my bedroom. These are my plants for in the bedroom. I keep it mostly pothos. I have a Boston fern. Everybody, no judgment on how that looks. It bounces back every year, spring and summertime, and it'll start bouncing back. I keep this in the shower, steamy shower this, and it is in a pot that water can seep through pretty easily. So I don't keep it soaking wet. Don't mind that tag. There were other plants inside this pot. The base of this one was in a smaller pot and it outgrew that pot. So it is in a hanging basket, so that way I can carry it easier because it is super heavy. All right, start at the top here. Golden Pothos. Love this. Got it at Walmart for $10, I think. And it is just huge and trailing and gorgeous. So look at that. Just gorgeous. And then below it, I have another Pothos. And then below it, 2 clearance Pothos that are doing so good now. I got these each for 50 cents, I think. So they're doing much better. They're in their bathtub. Down, and then I have, this is a marble Queen Pothos. She's doing really good. She also was a clearance save. That's what I do. I save most of them from clearance, and then I just pot them up, and they do really good. So this is supposed to be a golden Pothos, but it's all now just dark green, the jade kind of color. There's just a few leaves that have the variegation on it. I don't really worry about the variegation because I love Pothos so much. I don't mess with them with their lighting and stuff. And then down here on the bottom is another one that's struggling. And this is Pearls and Jade. Well, at least that's what the tag says. I don't really care what the name is because I just love Pothos. There's some moss in there. Moss. And I keep a little bit of perlite in there with it, and then regular soil. I don't have to water these guys that often because I can literally forget to water those, and then they'll still do just fine. Let's see. English Ivy. I keep this one by itself. I do not put this with any of the other plants. English Ivy are known for spider mites, and I don't like the spider mites. Look at the little bird that it sits in. This does have a drain hole in it with a plastic plug. I don't plant things in it. I just set the pots inside of it because it's easier for me that way. So this cute little guy here growing up a bamboo pole here. So yeah, I love English Ivies. I just don't like the spider mites that come with it. So this guy just sits by itself. I don't set it with anything else. Bright Light. It's getting east light. It's about 8 or 9 feet away from an east window, and it's doing really well. And then up here, Legos. My kids built me Legos, you guys. See that? Like that. And I put them up here so I can see them all the time. Up here is a Wandering Jew. I used to have a really big one. I do not anymore. He got spider mites, so I'm starting over with a new one. So Old Candle. Cleaned them out real good, scrubbed them, and I use it for bottom watering. Look at that. Beautiful. I think Wandering Jews are one of the most beautiful plants. Their colors and the way they grow and just how easy they are to get growing. So there he is again. And they're so easy to propagate. Stick it in water. Just stick it in water and roots will grow within just a few days. Kind of crazy. All right, so next I have a fern. I'm not sure what this fern, I think it was a kangaroo. I think that's what the tag said, was a kangaroo. Now, this hasn't been doing well because ferns usually do very well in a high humidity, super shady light. But I do have new leaves on here, so I'm super excited. Spring and summer can't get here fast enough. It did have some fuzzy things that were growing off of it. It does not have those anymore. Those died off and broke. So hopefully this spring and summer this will bounce back, and then I can find some more info on this to have better care for it, because I don't want to lose it like that right there. See that? I just pulled it right out there. I'll clean that up later. So yeah, see, it has some parts on it that struggle to crunch. You hear that? That's bad. Bad plant mom right there. But new leaf, so I'm super excited. So wish me luck with that. If anybody has one of these, any care advice would be great. It is in a pot that drains. I take the tray off and let it drain out when it's done watering. And I have it sitting in my room, and it's got east and south light window. Next up is a Christmas or Thanksgiving cactus. There's 2 of them in here. No, 3 3 of them in this hanging basket, and they do very well in here. Has not bloomed since I got them. Again, couple years. New growth all the time. Constantly propagating this thing because they drop off, and I just leave them lay them on the soil, and it just goes really crazy. Roots and new plants and things like that. It always looks like it wants to do something. You see that? But I don't know. I have tried I had it in the basement with like no light, and then slowly brought it out to light. And I don't know. I don't think it likes me very much. But it is really pretty when it was blooming. Okay, so next I have a Nanook. I think that's the name. One of my newer plants. I love the pink and the green together. And a little bit of the white. I really like that. Same care as like the regular watering. Dew, bright light, keep soil damp, let it dry out. Well, I let mine dry out in between, and I bottom water. I don't let the roots sit in water for too long because I have learned my lesson with that. They die pretty quick. Then another peace lily, the smaller version. This guy is doing so well. He was in the bathroom for months. Now I brought him out for a little bit more lighting. And then lots of new leaves popped out just by moving them slowly to more light. So, and then there's a bad leaf right there. Of course there is. So there's that. And I like the way the peace lilies are because you can keep them damp in lower light levels, and they do beautifully. Okay, don't mind the closet. And then up here, this is a pothos that I've had for about 13, 14 years, and it was in water. Then I put it all into soil again. It's not huge for a 13-year-old plant because I've kept it small. I've given away pieces of it, and I've made new plants and given them away or sold them. And so I took all of the babies that I had left from it and put him in water, and this is what he is doing now. His name is Harry. Isn't it cute? Look at those leaves. Just gorgeous. I love pothos. Pothos are my favorite indoor plant, I would say. Easy care. You can forget for a month to water these guys, and then they're fine. All right, so then we're going to go into my Hoyas. I'm still learning about Hoyas. So they are doing really good in a east window, like right directly in the window. Look at that. And I think this is the Hoya Crimson Princess, I believe. I'm not exactly sure on all their names. So I just keep them in a window. I'm super excited about this one. So this is a Hoya Pubicalix Splash, you guys. I got this at a Earl Mays near me, and I love it. This one is supposed to flower, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, here's some tips that it says. We keep our house usually between 68 and 70 anyway, unless the temperature outside gets really, really cold. It is trailing. This is the newer trail right here. This one came with it, and this is a newer one, so it's really, really happy with me, so I'm pleased with that. But look at that. Just gorgeous. I love the splash look on leaves. It's just really pretty. So I take this one, I put this in the shower with me, and I will bottom water this, and then it needs a little bit of water now. And then I just wipe the leaves down with a wet washcloth, and then that's just what I do with all of them. So it keeps them nice and clean and the leaves free of any dust or things, so that way the nutrients and things can get up with it. So I keep that one up in a window. Looks really good. And then this one I love the most out of the 3 that I have. This is a Hoya Crimson Queen. And this, maybe a princess. I'm not entirely for sure, but I love this one the most. New growth. Look at that. New growth. I'm super excited. Same thing. East facing window. And I just hang them on the curtain rod. Lots of new growth. Super excited. I don't know if this one flowers. If you guys have it and yours flowers, let me know. But I just love this one so much. They're just so pretty. Look at that. Oh, I just can't get over how beautiful that is. All right, so I'm going to put this one back. Yep, see, curtain rod, east facing window. And I don't let them, they rub up against the curtain and the window just slightly, but the window's not like super cold. So, and there's no drafts right here. The window's pretty well sealed. Maranta, another one. I love these guys so much. New growth on this one. So this one's doing really well. I don't know the name of this one. I think it's Lemon. No, Lemon's the bright one. If you guys know, let me know. Really good growth on this. It was flowering a couple months ago, and now it is not. And then so in here in a couple months it'll flower again. So this one I just love. So pretty. Lots of new growth on this. See if I can get that to, there we go. Look at that, new growth. I love the leaves. I really love the leaves. You know the name? Let me know. All right, next thing I have is an asparagus fern. These are usually an annual that people use for hanging baskets, pots, things for outside as a filler. And these guys do grow really, really quick. The reason why I have one is my mom has one, and she's had hers in pots for 10 years, give or take, and hers are just huge. You can barely lift them. Hers are just nuts. You can propagate those. I've never had success with that though. I've heard water is the best way, so maybe this summer I'll try doing that again. But yeah, this is really pretty, just super, super soft. I do not know if these flower. I don't think that they do. I think they get little red beads, like little red berries. And those are not safe to eat. So not a flower. It produces little red berry type things. So I got new growth here. Super excited. Again, east facing window for these guys here. So this, guys, I'm super, super proud of. So this is a Manjula, however y'all pronounce it. I potted this up, and I used from Amazon. You can get them 2 stakes, and they're for 2 for $17, and they have these, they're PVC pipe, I think, and you can stack them inside of each other. So I really like that, and it comes already twined up. So I use my butterfly little hair clippy things and held up the stems, and see that they're just going crazy. And the only thing is the leaves are bright green or dark green when they're coming out new. So I may have to move this one to a lower light. I'm not sure. I ended up finding 2 more Manuelas on clearance at Walmart. And I potted those up in here. But see, that looks like a marble, doesn't it? I don't know. I just kind of let it do its own thing. But I potted it. Look at this white. Oh my goodness, an all white leaf. I'm in love. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. So there's another one in there. The Manuela, or whatever you want to call it. And then the other 50-cent Manuela that I got is in here. This one's doing better in color than the main plant. Let's see. Yeah. So many new leaves. Look at that. I don't mind that brown one there. Of course, when I want to video this, it's like they all of a sudden hurry up and get brown leaves, so it make it look bad. So east facing window, staked it up, and I water it when it's dry. This guy is still pretty damp. So yeah, it is a draining pot. I do take the trays off when I water, and I do put a Dollar Tree has amazing choices for trays to put under a plant if you are on a budget. So I get dinner plates at Dollar Tree, And that's what I use, is I just use the dinner plates. They great for using inside or outside. All right, next plant I have is 2 Janet Craigs. The cat got to them again. So these are Dracaenas, I think. Bright light and just damp soil. And then other than that, these guys don't really need too much care. There's 2 of them in there because they were separate, but I potted them up together for winter. That is a thing that I do during fall or right at the end of summer. If I have ended up getting more than one of a certain type of plant, I will pot them up together to help them do better during winter. And it has worked for me for several years. I've been doing that. And I will only lose just very few plants. I don't lose a lot of plants. So that's just something that I do. And it's worked out very well for me. Okay, so we're going to come over here to the corner. And this is where that big gigantic peace lily goes, is in here. So if you remember, my snake plant in the living room has the same pot. So here's the inside of it, since this one is currently empty right now. You can pull this part out, and it's just a plastic piece. Oh, look, there's a tag. What does that go do? Oh, the Manuela. We'll just take that out of there. Don't mind that. But I love the way these pots are. There's handles, and they're very sturdy. Easy for moving around the plant. Easy for watering. So if I can't put the peace lily in the tub to water, I can literally pour water into the bottom of this, and it can bottom water from this. So that is always another way that I'm able to do that for the peace lily, because it is large, and I sometimes have my bathtub pretty full of other plants that are bottom watering. And peace lilies, you know, they're dramatic, so it's after they get watered and you don't have room in the tub to water them, that's when they decide, hey, I need water all of a sudden. So this is a great option. And it came with this, so that's even a better deal. All right, so coming up here, my Addisoni. And this is the narrow, this is the narrow version, I think. Let's focus here. Oh, hold on, there we go. So not all of my leaves come out with holes. Some do, some don't. I don't really worry about that. So I need to clip this guy off because there's a lot of space between the next leaf down here to those. So I'm probably going to clip this off and stick it back into the main pot and put it with the mother. So there are pieces in here that I've cut off of other trailings, and I just stick them in here after I water propagate them to help them get their roots a little bit better. So this guy is doing very well, like always new growth. They grow very fast for me. This is the first year that I've had one of these. I looked and looked forever for one. Look at that, so pretty. So I have this in a cocoa lined basket. It does dry out a little bit faster. So what I do is I just take the basket down and stick it in the tub and bottom water it, let it soak really good, and then I let it dry out in the sun on a tote lid. I don't know about you guys, but I have thousands of tote lids and no totes because they break. So I keep the lids and I use them for winter time for my plants, so that way they can stay on the tote lids and they can dry out in the sunlight. Since the sun is not so strong in the winter, it's a little easier and better for the plants for drying out inside. So that is all my plants. I'm hoping to get tons more. I have a few that are on my wish list. Look at that, isn't that just pretty? So yeah, I have a wish list. If you guys keep wish lists and you have birthdays or Christmas and things coming up, just go ahead and tell your friends and family, hey, these are on my wish list. You can get me some plants. I am a plant hoarder, and I'm okay with that. Have a good day, guys. Bye.